how's it going? Welcome to Live from the Lesson Studio tonight. So I'm playing, obviously, over While My Guitar Gently Weeps. I always play this song when I play my live performances. So what I'm talking about today is this cool thing where you can combine your pentatonic scales and modes and kind of solo with both of those when you're playing and kind of toggle back and forth between a mode and a pentatonic scale. And what's really cool about this tune is it's in A minor and then it's in A major. So we kind of have the best of both worlds where we're doing these parallel keys. It's a minor key, then it's a major key. So we're kind of swapping thirds while we're swapping scales. It's really neat. So chords I'm playing over, I don't know if you know how to play this song or not yet. It's A minor, and then it's A minor over G. This, so it's like A minor, the G in the bass, the D over F sharp. I think the next chord is actually like an F over an F6 over F, like an F6 chord like that, or you can play like F major 7, some kind of F chord. I played F major 7 in the loop I did there. Back to A minor, and then the G chord. Then it plays a D chord first to E7. That's a really nice progression, right? Of course it is. It's one of the greatest chord progressions of all time and super great to solo over. Now A minor again, A minor over G, this D over F sharp, first inversion D chord, to F major 7 or F major 6, or however you want to play that, or D, you can think of it as D minor over F. It's all kind of the same. A minor to G, and then he goes to C, and then to E7. And that's pretty cool too. So the second passage has the C chord put in it. So we're basically playing an A minor progression, and there's a first ending and a second ending, and then it goes to A major. This is something that George Harrison did a lot, where he played a song in a minor key and then switches to a major key for the B section. It happens in a lot of songs. On the song Something, it's the opposite. It kind of starts with a major key for the verse, and then the chorus is minor, so he does the exact opposite of this. A major to C sharp minor. These are very standard Beatle chords. It kind of reminds me of Help. F sharp minor, C sharp minor, B minor for 2 measures. And then it does this cool thing where it's E, and then D over F sharp, and then this E7 over G sharp like this. That's a great voicing. What that is, if you look at the D form of the cage system like this, if I go to the 7th chord, like that, the high E string is the same note as the low E string, so I could do the same chord like this. It's the same chord. This time the third is in the bass, right? So it's like this, to this, to this. So A minor over G, D over F sharp, and then some kind of F chord. I played F major 7 in this voicing. He's probably more like F6 or D minor over F, A minor to G, to D, to E7. The E7 is cool because it's kind of singing harmonic minor there, that 7th there. A minor over G, D over F sharp, F major 7, A minor to G, to C, to E7. A section, or B section, I'm sorry, A chord, C sharp minor, F sharp minor, back to C sharp minor, B minor, and B minor again, E, D over F sharp, E over G sharp. We've got a comment here. Love the harmonic minor scale. I do too. I think it's fantastic. So now check this out. What we're going to do here is we're going to take a look at how we can solo over top of these sections and combine modes with the pentatonic scale. So over the A section, if I play a, I should probably talk about the sounds I'm getting right now too. So the clean guitar sound is a matchless amplifier on the Fractal FM9. Kind of the Axe effects on the floor, and I've got a chorus sound happening, so it's got a chorusy sound to it. And I've set the metronome to the BPM of 116 beats a minute, like the song is. So when I do these looper tracks on the live channel, I just kind of put my metronome on to make sure it's in time. And then for the lead guitar tone, I'm using a a high watt amplifier. It's the same amp that David Gilmour made famous. It's kind of breaks up a lot. It's really chunky and crunchy sounding. So the two of those together, I find, have a really warm sound to them. They kind of play well together. Those two amps are in the playground and they get along well together. They're playing on the swing set together or something. They're not fighting in the playground, if that makes sense. That's weird. But anyway, so if I play a minor pentatonic scale over this first part, it's very obvious that that's going to work, right? So I can kind of do my minor pentatonic licks. So whatever your arsenal of pentatonic licks is, so over A minor, you can throw those in. And then I can go to A major pentatonic over this next part. So there's a lesson on the channel that will show you how to play a minor pentatonic scale and a major pentatonic scale starting on the same root note. That's a great lesson to look for. You can find that right here. It's going to be one shape, two different shapes with the same starting note to play both minor and major with the same note. So A minor and A major are different animals, but we can kind of toggle back and forth between those if we're doing this as pentatonic scales. If you don't know your pentatonic scales already, there's a lesson on the channel right here, which will show you the 5 minor pentatonic scale positions. You should learn how to play this across the entire guitar neck. And while we're at it, on the lesson channel right here is the very first pentatonic guitar soloing lesson, which will show you how to phrase, how to start doing this call and response phrasing thing that I'm doing. That's really important to learn also. So if you don't feel comfortable with soloing yet, you can check that out. Why don't you check out this lesson right here as well. This will be on the 7 positions of the major scale. We're going to get to that soon too. So you can start to solo with the major scale back and forth. And let's throw in one more. Lesson right here on the channel I did as a live stream before, which will show you how to do the pentatonic scale with modal enhancement. You're going to add modes to the pentatonic scale while you're playing the pentatonic scale. So it's kind of almost the same concept as today. We're talking about playing a mode and then pentatonic, and then a mode and then pentatonic. And that lesson is going to show you how to blend the two of those together. I'll kind of get into that as well today. So there's lots of these great tools we can use to play over top of this so we don't play the same thing all the time and sound really stagnant, right? So if I'm playing my minor pentatonic scale licks, so maybe I want to do something different now. I'm kind of feeling like, okay, that's cool, but I want to go somewhere else with this. So if you look at the way that music harmony works, so the key of C is related to A minor. Those are relative keys, right? So what we can do is we can build a mode on each one of those scale degrees, and all of those are going to work over this A minor chord because they're all related to C. Does that make sense? All of the modes that are related to C major will work over A minor because they're all related to each other. It's like one big happy family of notes. So if I play Aeolian over top of this, that's going to sound great. Okay, so that's cool, but check this out. If Aeolian on A is the same as C major, right, starting on a different note, what if I play E Phrygian? The mode that starts on the 3rd degree of the major scale is Phrygian. It sounds like this. It's very Spanishy sounding. So that's going to be the same as Aeolian, but starting on E. So that's going to sound great over this progression because it's A minor, which is the same as E Phrygian. Check it out. I'll just play Phrygian this time. So I'm focusing on the E note. It's being my tonal center. So that's kind of cool. So I can now switch back and forth between A minor pentatonic, A Phrygian, or Aeolian in the A minor natural minor scale, and all of those are going to work together cohesively so I can kind of blend the three of those and slide back and forth between them like this. Now, I was really obvious with that one. I missed that comment. Ask me that question again. I missed the comment. They go by really fast. They just kind of pop up and then they vanish. They pop up and they vanish. I got to keep an eye out for that. I closed my eyes and got into guitar land there, and I was zoning out. So you can blend the three of those scales together. It's A natural minor, and if you don't know how to do that, you can kind of learn the 7 positions of A natural minor by taking the major scale and making the adjustments. I can talk about that a little later in the lesson. So A natural minor, E Phrygian, and A minor pentatonic, and then do the thing where you're playing the pentatonic scale, and then adding those other modal notes back into it. So right now I'm playing really slow and tasteful on this progression. I've been known in a live setting to go completely ape, S-H-I-T, and going nuts and playing like crazy fast over this. So if you want to watch some of that stuff, go to the live performances on the channel here of me playing While My Guitar Gently Weeps, and I'm playing in Shred-Zilla land as fast as I possibly can. Let's see what it says here. Phrygian scale. So the Phrygian scale is, it's a great thing. So there's 7 modes, right? He just asked me about the Phrygian scale. So the first scale is called Ionian. So it'd be like do, re, mi, fa, sol, la, ti, do, ti, la, sol, fa, mi, re, do, right? That's the first scale. If I play the same scale but I start on this note, it's now D Dorian. So D Dorian is the second mode from C major. It looks like like a major scale, but it has a flatted third and a flatted seventh. So it's in the minor category. It's a minor chord or scale because the third is minor. Next up is Phrygian. If I start on this note, do, re, mi. If you look at the scale horizontally, you can go right at the major scale. Do, re, mi, fa, sol, la, ti, do. And then you can start the same scale on each different note, and then you'll be able to play the modes, right? So if I play it from here, it's C major, starting on the E note. So there's 2 ways you can approach learning these. And I would recommend doing 1 octave at a time. Don't stress yourself out by having to learn the whole fretboard. If you look at the lesson on the channel about the 7 major scale patterns and learning how to play 3-note per string patterns with the major scale across the guitar, you can take that, and once you memorize those and you get those in your hands, you got to practice those and play those like crazy. Once they're in your hands, then everything else becomes easy because everything else is related to it. You can compare everything to the major scale and make the alterations. It's called lateral indexing. As soon as you can do that, your hands are flying because you've memorized the patterns. Your brain knows where to go just because you've been playing these for so long. Work with the backing tracks on the lesson channel to play the major scales and the pentatonic scales. I've created these backing tracks which are like primed for playing these scales over top of them to practice. And that will help you just kind of jamming and getting used to them. So go over that lesson on the major scale patterns. If you look at this, E major would look like this. Phrygian has a flatted third, so it's flatted by nature. The second is flatted. The sixth is flatted, and the seventh is flatted, so there's 4 flatted notes. These are called the ecclesiastic church modes, or the principal church modes. There's 7 of them. That one is also minor sounding. The next one's Lydian. It has a sharp 4, which is really cool. It has a tritone built into it. So when you play jazz, as a jazzer, we generally don't play major at all. We generally play Lydian, and we don't even play major because Lydian has that sharp 4. So a song like Free Will by Rush, that's a Lydian scale. So there's mixed Lydian and Aeolian and Locrian. So there's 7 modes, and the Phrygian mode is one of them. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to blend these together again. A minor pentatonic. We're to the B section. Now we're to the major section. What do we do here? This is when things change. We're not playing A minor anymore. Now we're playing A major. So we're swapping thirds from that to that. So what we want to do over this is play either major pentatonic, or we can play in the A major scale, those 3-note per string patterns I was talking about. So we're going to make a direct shift between minor and major. So if A minor starts here, A major starts here, all you got to do is do My Girl. Let's see what this comment says. They go by quickly. Yes, while my guitar gently weeps. And it needs to weep today because the world's a little messed up right now, folks. So let's play guitar and have some prayer going on here because the world's a little messed up right now. So if you look at A minor like this, start that with your little finger instead. Now we have A major pentatonic. Remember, this is kind of the hack. This is like the really fast way to learn this. Once you learn how to play these scales, it gets so elaborate. You can take these so far. I'm playing these purely vertical in a box right now. Let's see what this comment says. So this is a really tenuous time on the planet. Let's all play guitar and join our guitar brother and sisterhood together and just kind of, I don't know, play through all the insanity. That's what I've been doing my entire life. When I'm sad, I play guitar. I had a student once when he was 11 years old, in his very first guitar lesson, he asked me if I ever played guitar when I was sad. And I was like, boy, that kid gets it. He's gonna be good at this because this is the greatest vehicle for expression, right? When you're in a bad mood, a great mood, whatever, throw it into your guitar, and life is better. It makes your life so much better. It's so true. It's exactly true, Jordan. So check it out. So what I'm going to do here is if I'm looking at that pentatonic scale vertically, right? Eventually you can learn how to play all this stuff diagonally and horizontally, and there's so much to it. I'm going to make a bunch of lesson courses on pentatonic scale connections soon enough. Once I get past the big guys, the beginner guitar course and the intermediate guitar course, I'm going to branch off into a bunch of pentatonic courses. But there's tons of pentatonic lessons on the channel. You can get into some of the concepts over there as well. So what we want to do is kind of look at this vertically. This is A minor. A major's here. I could also go like this. So it's like, so I'm playing that horizontally, right? Instead of vertically. So I can do that starting on A minor, or F sharp minor, and now it becomes minor. See, your major can become minor. They're interchangeable. It's really kind of an endless thing. You could pursue this the rest of your life, and every day there's a new magic discovery where you're like, whoa, dude, that was so cool. It's really neat how it just keeps growing. So over the major section, I'm going to play major pentatonic. You know, that kind of like Amy scale, or major itself. And then I can shift back and forth between the two of those when I'm soloing. And it's a really cool thing. Now we're working with different modes of major, pentatonic, and pentatonic together. So I can play minor pentatonic and Phrygian. And over the next section, I can play major pentatonic and A major, or Ionian, and combine them together. as you can see, I'm blending the two of those sounds back and forth, and it's really cool. Like if you want to have a moment where you want to kind of intensify, you can switch the mode while you're switching your level of intensity. You can start with like a lower gear, you get a little faster, get a little more groove going. You go from playing eighth notes to triplets to 16th notes to sextuplets, where you're playing 6 notes in a beat. And as you're increasing your intensity, you're weaving in and out of the modal sound from pentatonic to modes, or combining the two of those together. And it gives the listener this really cool feeling of surprise, right? The best stuff in life is something that's predictable, but it's surprising at the same time. It has form, but it also has a magical element to it. It has to sound like something you've heard before, but you've never heard it before. And that's when you have the good stuff. So when you're trying to develop your own voice, that's what you're doing. You're searching for something that, in my mind anyway, so I'm going to comment here. Thank you so much. The transitions are absolutely, this is a beautiful guitar, isn't it? It's deep ocean blue. I love this thing. This is like my favorite physical thing in the universe. I actually like the FM9, the fractal on the floor here, almost as much, but this guitar is pretty special to me. There's a video on the channel that talks about the guitar if you want to learn about all the pickups and switches and stuff. There's 24 sounds on this sucker, which leads, again, to the availability of having expressional options. The more options, the better. To develop your voice, you're looking for something that sounds like something that's traditional, something that people can latch onto, that they recognize. Who doesn't like my guitar? I can tell you who doesn't like my guitar, buddy. I was teaching a kid a ukulele lesson about 5 years ago, right? And it was his very first lesson, and he took his ukulele and just threw it at the guitar. You can see there's a ding right there, and it's just right there. So I kind of looked at him, and I was like, well, I guess that's your last lesson, buddy. And took him out to the waiting room, and I was like, he just threw his ukulele at my, well, back then it was a $5,000 guitar, so it's probably like $8,000 at this point. Who knows? I mean, everything's so expensive. I was like, I don't think this kid's ready for lessons quite yet. So yeah, I don't think he liked it, but I like it. So blending back and forth, and you're looking for melody. The entire time you're doing this, the idea is to try to find something melodic. Now, I'm not really on the top of my game right now. Again, go to the lesson channel and watch the last live solo I did for While My Guitar Gently Weeps. I was like cranked full of caffeine and an entire hour of a show on stage in front of an audience full of juice, and that sort of makes a difference. When you're playing in front of people, you get motivated and you get this like sense of excitement and adrenaline, and you play differently versus when you're in a room by yourself and you kind of tend to be a little more mellow. So it's a little more tender, I suppose. It kind of depends on the mood. Your playing will change the same way the seasons change, the same way your moods change. If you're tired or you're hungry or you're feeling whatever emotion you're feeling, it's going to come out in your playing. Like right now, I'm just kind of relaxed. So everything I'm doing sounds kind of relaxed. It's not like really fast or crazy or anything. So I'm going to switch around through these modes. I'm going to choose the mode of expression or the right vehicle for however I'm feeling. Certain modes will give you more of a feeling of adrenaline, where other ones will give you more of a mellow feeling. So I can start really mellow here. There's that harmonic minor note right there. It only exists for that 1 second of that E7 chord. Now we're going to major. All right, well, I hope you enjoyed tonight's jam here. Thank you so much for hanging out with me. I appreciate it. I had a great time playing with you, playing a guitar for you. Please subscribe to the channel if you haven't already. There's lots of videos over there. I do these live streams a couple nights a week, usually after lessons. Sometimes I miss and sometimes I do more. So let me know what you want to